What's up? It's Samuel Leaf, and you're tuned into The Kitchen with DJ MilkyWaay.
This is MilkyWaay. Welcome to the kitchen. Samuel Leaf, welcome to the kitchen.
Thank you.
So, tell us about yourself as an artist.
I'm a rapper, producer, writer, singer, a lot of different things. I produce mostly for myself, but sometimes for some other people.
And you're from the New Haven area, right?
I'm from Darien, Connecticut, but I've been in New Haven 4 years now, a little over 4 years. Just moved out when my mom moved back to Tennessee. Had to move out, so I came to New Haven.
Did you grow up in Connecticut or did you grow up in Tennessee?
Yeah, I grew up in Connecticut. Back and forth with Tennessee, I would hang out with my grandparents sometimes and stuff like that. Or often, honestly, like most breaks and stuff from school, I would be in Tennessee with my grandparents, but didn't really live there per se. Yeah.
Damn, that's cool.
Have a lot of connections there.
I don't know if I've ever met anybody from Tennessee. I'd check that off my states list.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm from there. My mom likes to say that she raised me like I was from there, but I don't know.
So tell us about your influences. Who are some musicians you look at for inspiration?
I feel like I started rapping when I was in sophomore year in high school because I found Earl Sweatshirt and he really inspired me to rap and make kind of just that different kind of rap music he opened my ears to something I hadn't heard before. And I've been listening to Lil Wayne since I can remember, Lil Wayne, Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, and even going further back, having your parents play MC Hammer and shit in the house. But I was always listening to rap. But then once I heard Earl Sweatshirt, I was it just opened my ears and just put that inspiration in me to rap. Production wise, I played instruments since I was 10 years old, so I was always writing songs and kind of floating around that way. But it wasn't until I decided to rap that I really wanted to put that to use and make beats for myself.
Yeah.
So that I could just fully create the song myself. I wouldn't have to rely on YouTube beats or anything like that. I wouldn't have to pay for a beat. I could just figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That's how I started making beats, actually. I was a rapper, and I made my first song, and my friends were like, have you bought the beat yet? I was like, you have to buy the beat? And so I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to I was a broke college freshman.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm just going to make my own beat. And then I never went back to rapping.
Yeah. Damn.
One song in.
That reminds me of, Alchemist?
Yeah.
Have you seen he had a rap group when he was 15 or something like that?
Yeah.
That's just so crazy to see.
Yeah, he was in it from mad early.
Yeah.
Damn. So it sounds like you listen to a lot of West Coast rappers. Do you consider yourself heavily inspired by West Coast?
Not necessarily. I think. I mean, I feel like I'm more inspired by Southern artists and rappers. Lil Wayne has always been my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah.
And he's always been a style inspiration for me when I was in even when I was in elementary school. I was going to school sagging my pants like crazy with a tank top on and a long necklace or something like that.
Yeah.
And my mom was just trying to get me to stop but I would just pull up to school looking trying to look like Lil Wayne. So I feel I was always influenced by that kind of Southern Cash Money, those rappers always just struck something in me and those beats and everything. I think I still kind of, I don't know, nowadays it's easy to be into every part of rap though. Mm-hmm. I'll listen to some Detroit shit, then some Florida shit right after it.
That's what I'm saying, because of the internet, everybody listens to everything now.
Yeah, I definitely started off branching off from Lil Wayne, so I was listening to a lot of Southern rap just because it was who's featured on his songs, who's he working with, things like that. But nowadays it's just loading up YouTube and a Spanish rapper will pull up and I'll be like, yeah, this is great, you know.
I'm all into the UK drill too.
Yeah,
My friends have put me on to whatever, I can't think of any names right now, but they just have such a refreshing sound over there, and you can listen to stuff from anywhere. They got rap coming out of China, Brazil. It's crazy.
Everywhere. There's this YouTube channel, I think, or it might be an Instagram. It's either an Instagram or YouTube and an Instagram, but it's called Victory Lap, and they do a lot of like kind of like on the radar stuff, but it's more like freestyles, and they'll have the beat playing, and a bunch of UK rappers will come through. I think Central C did it or something. Like they just have like all the big names come through. I found some really cool rappers through that.
Damn, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, that's another thing. I feel like I'm such like an internet, like growing up at the, I'm 23. Growing up at the age I did, I'm such an internet nerd with music. Like I just find those like rabbit holes and those like when I was even in middle school, I'd be on like forum internet, like not like how would I say, like you would go and read forums and find like random punk bands from like the 80s that you wouldn't have heard of, and just Damn. All across every genre. I always had this drive to seek out shit that was so new and so like untapped that I wanted to hear all the weird sounds possible, like finding like a random band in like the Saharan desert and then listening to some like Brazilian funk, and then like just anything I could find.
Yeah, like listening to music from all over the world is so fire. One time my friend sent me a hour-long YouTube video, and it was ringtones from a cell phone company in Saudi Arabia, and we sampled like a dozen of them. Yeah, they're just fire. It's just a different vibe.
It's like, it just reminds me of, it's kind of like the new age crate digging, like when you go to a record store and you'd pick something up just based off of the cover and you never heard of anything from them.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like you just be scrolling on YouTube and some random thing will pop up that has like a cool thumbnail, and you click on it and it's this like Japanese soul from like 1980s or something, and you're like, damn, this is sick. Like that's my favorite moments, because I do go crate digging too. I love records. I try to find a lot of music that way. Because it kind of reminds me of like when I would search on YouTube, to be honest. Yeah. Which I feel like it kind of flips. It should be the opposite, because old heads would be like, yeah, we crate digged and then now we're going on YouTube. But for me, it was YouTube, and then I found records and I was like, oh, this is like giving me scratching the same itch.
Yeah, damn, I feel that. I feel that with like keyboards, because I feel like older producers are like, I used to play in my keys and now it's all just like MIDI and stuff. But like, I used to just type in MIDI, and now I'm like when I got my synth, that feels like I'm stepping up,
Yeah. That's funny.
So what do you do to get over writer's block or beat block when you're making beats?
I feel like for writing, it's definitely like reading books, just like getting more words in my head. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like listening to music, in the way I was talking before about finding things I've never heard, really helps with my production and kind of new sounds. Mm-hmm. But I feel like when I need to write lyrics, I really need to just like be like in a quiet room or like some soft jazz playing and just like read a book of, honestly, any kind of book. Like it could be a book about Norse gods, or it could be a murder mystery book. It could be a like James Baldwin book. It could just literally have any sort of context, but just reading and like just absorbing the words and concepts just kind of gets my brain going in a different way that usually helps me write a lot better.
Hell yeah, I'm big into reading. Do you have like a book recommendation for the viewers here?
One of my favorite books that I found through a Kurt Cobain interview. So transferring it now through this interview, it feels kind of natural.
Hell yeah.
But it's a book called Perfume by Patrick Suskind, and it's a kind of like a murder book, but it's not really a mystery because it's through the perspective of the psychopath. Mm-hmm. But he has this incredible nose where he can smell anything. Like he would be able to smell like the type of wood that a guitar is. Mm-hmm. Like he just like has like some superhuman like sense of smell. Like he would be able to smell like the color of a paint, like just some crazy shit. And then he gets obsessed with this and finds like a perfumer, and I don't want to spoil too much, but he wants to make a girl into a perfume. I'll just say that.
Okay. Perfume. Check it out, folks. I'm definitely going to read it. That sounds fine.
It's crazy. That's another book, though, too, that has so much colorful language that helps me write. Like, it just, the descriptions of things, like, the way he describes the smells, it's just, there's so much, like, it just puts you, like, in the book.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
That's fire. So you're a producer and an artist. How has, like, beat making impacted your rapping and vice versa?
I think because I started making beats generally the same time I started rapping, they've always kind of gone hand in hand. That's why it's hard for me to make beats for other people.
Yeah, interesting.
Whenever I make a beat, I have myself in mind. So I've had times where I produce for people where they ask me to, and if I go into it being like, all right, this is for someone else, that can help. But generally, when I get in my true flow state of creativity, like, it's kind of just about me. Like, it's just about, like, how would I attack this, like, just naturally, because I've always made beats just for myself. So, but at the same time, I think it can open me up to more collaboration, which I like, because I can understand both. I could be in a studio, and if they're making a beat, I can help out with making the beat.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's just recording and they need like some help with recording, flow, lyrics, or whatever comes with that, I can help with that. So it does help me and hurt me in different ways. I think I could definitely make some more money selling beats if I was better at making beats for other people.
Mm-hmm. I always tell artists that they should like learn to, they don't need to like be the best beat makers, but they should have enough understanding of it to be able to talk to the producer and like tell them like, oh, I don't like that snare or something. Like they should know all the drum sounds. You should be able to like make recommendations and stuff. Do you think growing up in Connecticut has influenced your music at all?
I think it's given me a lot of time, because growing up I didn't have very many friends in my town or in my high school. I was kind of just smoking weed, showing up, getting my work done, and leaving, and going home to make beats and make music and just nerd out on the internet finding music. Like, so I feel like it has affected it has affected me as a musician, just in the way that it's given me a lot of time to. I feel like if I had grown up in somewhere like LA or even somewhere like New York City,
Mm-hmm.
I would have had so many things to do that I might not have really focused in on music and like producing and teaching myself how to make songs and stuff like that. I might have had more cool things at the time in my head to do, like just go out and party or whatever. Instead, I just stayed home and smoked weed and made beats just all throughout high school.
I really feel that because I really like locked in during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I like grew up playing instruments, and I always like did a little bit of like music making, but it was never really like beat making. And then I got into that in college, and I was just a little bit into it until the pandemic hit, and then I was like on my own, and I really just got to like focus on the craft and like learn and practice, and that's when I like really jumped, and my beats got like a lot better.
Yeah. I feel like I just kind of had that mentality already. I was like, I don't want to go outside. Like, I was just one of those kids. Like, I wasn't going to parties. I wasn't, you know. I always think about how I looked to other people in high school, but I was probably just, people would look at me and be like, oh, like, there's that kid. Like, I don't really know much about him. He's just kind of here in dips. That's just kind of all I did was make music. All I cared about was music. Still, I mean, it's always my, top of my mind is music. I can't get it out of my head ever.
Do you have any thoughts on the sound of Connecticut?
I don't know. I feel like we take influence from a lot of different places. Like, it really depends on where you are in Connecticut. I see a lot of people in Bridgeport or like Southern Connecticut do more drill shit, which I feel like is because it's closer to New York.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people closer in Hartford, closer to Massachusetts, will maybe have more influence from Mass. I think generally though, aside from that, Connecticut has like has a very DIY sound. I feel like that's kind of the only way I could really describe Connecticut as its own unique sound. Is it's very DIY. A lot of the rappers are independent. A lot of the rappers are making their own beats and stuff, and a lot of, like, it's more of a, putting on your own shows and stuff like that. It's a very kind of DIY culture, which is I think is partly a product of not being a major city. Like, no, Connecticut has no crazy major city like New York City or even Boston or like anything like that. So we have New Haven, we have Hartford, we have Bridgeport, but I feel like because we don't have this huge city backing the state, that's why a lot of it's DIY. We don't have like that industry, which I feel like it's cool and can hold us back. I think that's why a lot of Connecticut artists, once they get on, they just move. Instead of staying here and kind of building a community and a sound in Connecticut. They kind of just be like, oh, I'm good. People like my stuff in New York, let me move to New York. People like my stuff in California, I'm just gonna move to California. And which is, I understand. You get an audience, you have to chase that
get
shit.
Your bag.
Yeah, get your bag. Yeah, but I think that kind of is why, like, we don't have the industry here. So a lot of times, if you do get to a certain level, you have to leave.
Yeah.
So most of the stuff that stays here and that is here is pretty DIY and kind of independent.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I feel like it breeds a lot of like hard workers. Like, there's a lot of people who just like spend a lot of time on their craft and on artistry and just like working hard, which is awesome. It's super like awesome to be inspired and just to be around. I feel like.
Yeah, and there are so many great artists that come out of Connecticut, whether it's like art of all kinds, models, actors, musicians, beat makers, rappers, producers of like any kind, like bands. There's a lot of great music and everything that comes out of Connecticut.
So tell us about your upcoming project, Leaf and Friends.
So the Leaf and Friends tape is a tape where every song is going to be a collaboration, whether it's vocally or just production or both. I just want to get all my friends on it. Everyone on the tape's going to be from Connecticut. I'm just trying to get as many songs together with as many people as possible probably before March, so I can put it out on 420. Just the Leaf vibe. 420 is the Leaf holiday in my mind.
Facts.
So,
Day of the Leaf.
Yeah, exactly. Day of the Leaf. So 420, I'm dropping the Leaf and Friends tape. It's probably gonna have anywhere between 12 and 20 songs, to be honest. Like, I'm trying to get it as many as possible with as many people as possible, just to really put something together that shows as much of Connecticut as possible. Kind of going back to the Connecticut sound thing. I want someone to reference it and be like, oh, like, damn, this is like everywhere. Like Hartford, New Haven, like Fairfield, like Stamford, like just everywhere. It's like, oh, this is all of Connecticut. This is crazy. Like Bridgeport, like I want it to be as like I said, just as many different people as possible from Connecticut, and really just let everyone shine. And it is kind of through my lens because I'm producing a lot of it and I'm on a lot of the songs, so I definitely have my influence on a lot of it, but I still think everyone kind of brings their own unique vibe and makes it a really cool whole project once it's all together.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Just getting like a whole representation of Connecticut on a tape.
Yeah.
All right, Samuel Leaf, you ready to get cooking?
You know it.
Let's do it.
So, Samuel Leaf, what kind of beat you trying to make?
I'm just trying to sing, honestly. I want to do some melodic shit, some kind of slow, kind of like, I don't know, yeah, just something melodic and smooth.
Yo, let's find a sample. What's up, folks? I'm probably going to cut most of that off, so we'll just pick up here. We just found the sample. Let's try that over. We just found the sample. Let's check it out. Alright, let's get into it. Let's find an 808 here. The beat needs it. Oh yeah, facts. Yo, this might be the best beat I made on the kitchen so far. This is insane right now.
We in the kitchen, man. Trying to get this one take. It's green monster under my. It's green monster under my bed. Find drugs in all my clothes like loose threads. Sliding in that big body like a fucking sled. That boy a wimp, he just like Greg. Told him I was sick, I need my meds. Couldn't go into work, I need that red. I'm a junkie, but she still want my cracks. I got money, hope she don't just want my bread. Left my heart in a cage, I can't let it out. Flying in my car, trying to find a different route. I need drugs all the time, I don't know a drought. I don't know a drought, I think I took too much, I'm stuck in the couch. I can't get enough, need to smoke out the pound. I roll gas, you roll grass, leave that shit on the ground. Don't get me mad, I need something strong to calm me down. Smoke so much, I think I made the man, I smoke so much, I think I made the class. Don't try me, I'll make it rain down. Don't try to fight me, looking like a clown. I'm in the kitchen with Milky, and I'm cooking now. Alright, that's good. I think I fuck with that one.